Good morning and welcome back to Withrow Urban Homestead. Today it's time to harvest our stevia. This cool morning is the best time to harvest. It's going to make the stevia sweeter. Now, in my experience, homegrown stevia doesn't taste exactly like store-bought. I tend to use liquid stevia, but homegrown is going to have a greener taste. It's going to be sweetest right up here at the tips. The young, tender, light green parts. There's no green taste. So it's possible just to harvest the tips, but that's going to require growing a lot of stevia. And I only have this one plant. Stevia is going to be sweetest right before it flowers. Early October here in north central Maryland is the perfect time to harvest. Any obviously damaged leaves, like I just saw one. Where is it? Hold on a second. There it is. Just discard that. You don't want to use those. And you don't want to save the stems. Go ahead and throw those into the compost. Now I'm going to wash these and I'll strip off the rest of these leaves. Now this really tender soft stem at the top, it's sweet and I'm going to save those, but right about here it starts getting less flexible. And those aren't worth saving. And of course, not the stems. These are too tough. This plant is 8 months old. I started under lights down in my basement back at the beginning of February. It's exactly 8 months old. I planted it out in mid-May, so it's been out in the garden growing for 5 months. It's sticky. Now my plan is to preserve the stevia 2 ways. I'm going to take the fresh stevia, grind it up, and freeze it in cubes. And the rest of it I'll dehydrate and grind it into a powder. Now you can steep the stevia and make a liquid with either water or vodka. And I've done both of those. I have videos on them I made, I think 5 years ago. But for me, it's not worth my time. I found that by the time I boil it down and condense it, the sweetness just tastes too green. I prefer to dehydrate it. So I think the fresh or frozen leaves are best in teas. And I use the dehydrated more in making sweet gluten-free breads. Now something like this, be careful, that might be bird droppings. So right here is because I've harvested before. This isn't my first harvest, but it is my last. I don't use homegrown stevia in desserts. For me, like I said, it just has too much of a green taste. That's fine. It doesn't come out in tea, and it doesn't come out in the sweetbreads. But for desserts, I stopped trying. I felt like I was just wasting my ingredients. But if you have had successful results using homegrown stevia in desserts, please let me know how you do it. Not bad for just one plant. This is a small garden. I don't give Stevia much space. Birds are busy over there. Curious who that is. A lot of our songbirds, they've left and gone south. But I think there's 1 or 2 catbirds left. One of them calls to me every morning in the garden. Yeah, they're over there eating some berries. Let's get this in the house and fill it up with some water. Now, what am I gonna do with this plant? Well, for now, we're gonna leave it, but we're gonna come back later, dig it up, and put it in a pot to overwinter down in the basement under some lights. I left about 18 inches. Now, stevia seeds most of the time are infertile. That's the reason when you buy seeds, it's hard to get them to germinate. It's really best to either overwinter your plant or take some cuttings. This is the new home of the compost. It was full of broken down quail bedding that's been here for 2 years. And I've been harvesting that and putting it as mulch on the garden. There's still a little bit left. Look at these massive stems from our sunflowers. We'll saw these apart later and add them to the pile. So we're going to fill up this half and get this other half empty. See, here's the mulch. I think it looks good. Next, we'll work on the green bean area, but we need to get some more cardboard. Cardboard in the garden every fall is the secret to my gardening success. Thank you for visiting Withrow Urban Homestead. See you later. Bye-bye.